Early on in Joe Biden's presidency, might have even been day one. Have to check on that one. Joe Biden decided to overturn Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. Doing so allowed a flood of degenerates to enter this country. People from all walks of life from every country in the world entered this nation, stealing the economic future for our children. While the border issue is definitely a pressing issue to most Americans, apparently Mexico also has a problem with the border, but not with the people. Yeah, no. Mexico has decided they want to sue 5 Arizona gun stores. Because the problem, it has nothing to do with the Arizona border, has nothing to do with your cartel problem, has nothing to do with, I don't know, uh, the fact that you allow the cartel to run your government effectively. No. It's the law-abiding American citizens running a business. That's who's at fault. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the judge presiding over this case should throw it out immediately. If Mexico wants to have legal recourse in an American court, they need to abide by international law and make these asylum seekers seek asylum in the first available nation, which would maybe be before Mexico. But it certainly isn't America when they're coming through Mexico. Yeah, that's just not how that works. Mexico should be taking on these asylum seekers. That's what Trump's Remain in Mexico policy was doing, and now it is no longer in effect. But, if Mexico didn't let these people come north, maybe we'd care about the guns going south. As far as I'm concerned, if I was going to sell an AR, my $500 AR, for example, why wouldn't I sell it to a cartel member for $1,500 instead of $500? What? I don't need a background check. Maybe instead of trying to police American citizens on what they do with their firearms, maybe, just maybe, you should police the border and make sure we don't have cartel coming back and forth. Arizona's family reported Mr. Michael Brick, the owner of Yuma Coin and Gun Store. Gun shop. Sorry. Been in business over 40 years, though he's not a part of the claim or the court case. He did have to come to bat for his fellow businessmen. Well, as far as responsible, that's a big word. Let's put it this way. Yes, I am sure I have sold a firearm that has gone to Mexico. But do we try to stop this? Yes, we do. Do we do a background check on these people? Yes, we do. And that's what he said. They're just saying they ignored red flags of potential straw sales. Well, as far as I'm concerned, selling straw is legal. What? Yes, straw sales of a firearm. It means selling a firearm through somebody to get to somebody who's not legally allowed to have it. You mean like when the government purchases firearms and then drops them in Chicago? That's not a confirmed story. Cenk Uygur, a presidential candidate that ran against Joe Biden in the primaries, is admitting that Democrats steal elections. He is speaking specifically about the primary election and not the presidential election. Democrats would never stoop that low. Am I right? But let's go ahead and read a little bit of this, talking about what happened. The headlines are wrong. He didn't say Biden is a bigger threat. He said he could make an argument for that. And you've got to be careful with that. What the mainstream media loves to do, they love to smear anyone who's an outsider. So not only did Cenk Uygur admit to the Democrat Party actively cheating their own primaries, but he also admitted that the mainstream media is fake news. It's fake news. Fake news, okay? But just remember, now we know from the horse's mouth the dirty tricks of the DNC.
If I were the the benevolent dictator of the world, I would legalize bestiality where you are giving, where you are pleasuring the animal. You see what I'm saying?
Sorry. Wrong clip. Sorry. Right clip. In Michigan, the parents of a school shooter have been sentenced to 10 years in prison. There's nothing left to say except, what? I mean, there's no reason why the parents of a maniac or a psycho should ever face charges. This is opening the door for a parent who has trained their child, who has a decent child, and that child has to use a firearm in self-defense to protect themselves while both their parents are forced to work to make sure there's food on the table under Joe Biden's economy. And make sure that the parent who allows access to that firearm has a legal precedent to end up in prison for the self-defense of their children. You have safe storage requirements. Safe storage requirements are completely unconstitutional. Here's a story that pisses off all of Colorado. Yeah, the Democrats in Denver and Boulder decided to vote for the reintroduction of wolves. Bleeding heart liberals. Gotta love them. They don't understand that wolves are apex predators and have nothing that hunt them. They don't understand that their own thoughts are their biggest detriment. Where Colorado benefits most from hunting is bringing people into the state. The reason Colorado has such a prolific hunting draw is the relationship from Colorado Parks and Wildlife down to the landowner. Unfortunately, that relationship is at risk due to the implementation of these wolves and the lack of a clear understanding of when farmers and ranchers can take action. For all hunters across this nation, if you want to hunt elk, bighorn sheep, squirrel, it's imperative for Colorado to have private owners of land allow public use. And that's at risk today because of Democrat policies and the movement to allow wolves into these places without a clear understanding of how it will be handled. Because if Democrats are good at anything, it's implementing policies and not knowing how to follow through. In other news, there are a couple of things, if you're a gun owner in the state of Colorado, you should be aware of. So as of the recording of this, the House Judiciary Committee is reviewing Senate Bill 24-003, a bill that effectively allows the Colorado Bureau of Investigation to be Colorado's Gestapo. As of recording this, tomorrow, likely when this video will be released, Thursday at 1:30 p.m., HB 24-1310 will be reviewed, which would be a bill to disarm school resource officers. So, you remember Uvalde, Texas, where armed men refused to act? Imagine how much more cowardice you would see here in the state of Colorado if those guys didn't have guns. Also, HB 24-1348, trying to take your right away to just put your gun in your car and leave it there. You know, you'd have to have a lockbox to have a gun in your car, which is retarded. The car is a lockbox. Maybe you should deal with criminals on the street and not let thieves roam free. You know, jail and prison is meant to fix criminals. And if they don't get fixed, they should just stay in there, away from decent society. If you're looking for something to do this weekend with the family, go ahead and get yourself down to the Colorado Railroad Museum up in Golden. You can get yourself a cheap train ride for the family. Nice part of Colorado history tied in with a fun event for the kids. You might even get the train operator to go. Choo choo. Thank you for watching the second episode of Kraken News. We look forward to seeing you again. Have a good one.